Good afternoon. My name is Matthew Sunho Choi. I am a student at QCC.
Hi, I'm Abigail Lim, student at NYU,
We are interns from KACE.
which is the Korean American Civic Empowerment organization.
Today, I am here to present the Korean American voter data during the New Jersey 2024 primary election. To analyze this data, we first identified Korean voters from the New Jersey state voter file. This was done using a multi-year name database of verified Korean surnames and given names. We removed non-Korean names using a secondary filter created by Mr. Dongchan Kim. We also included individuals sharing addresses with known Korean voters. Finally, we matched these individuals with the 2024 primary voter history file to confirm participation. Now, as you can see in our next slide, with the collaboration of the New Jersey University City students and Professor Eunsoo Lee, this dashboard visualizes Korean American voter data from the June 4th, 2024 New Jersey primary election. This dashboard provides an overview of voter registration and turnout segment by county, gender, political party, and age group. A total of 4,426 Korean American voters participated in this primary election. The top section displays county level turnout and regional information. The central and bottom panels offer visual breakdowns by gender, party affiliation, registered versus actual voters by age group, and turnout rate by age. All visual elements are interactive, allowing users to filter by county or municipality for localized insight. We'll now go over the specific number in each chart. This image presents a summary of Korean American voter participation in June 4th, 2024 New Jersey primary election. The map on the left shows county level turnout, with larger circles indicating more voters and darker shades representing higher turnout rates. The two highlighted boxes on the right show the overall turnout rate, 11.44%, and the total number of Korean American voters is about 4,426 who participated in the primary election. The donut chart below breaks down the number of voters by gender. 1,679 female, 1,436 male, and all gender identities, 1,311. This visual provides a clear overview of geographic distribution and gender-based turnout among Korean American voters in New Jersey. This chart shows the turnout by political party among Korean American voters in the 2024 New Jersey primary election. The turnout rate is 22.16%. The Democratic primary had the highest participation from Korean American voters, while the Republican Party, 15.85% of Korean voters participated in the Republican primary. They are the second highest turnout rate by party. Unaffiliated voters, the turnout rate was 0.54%. This is due to New Jersey's semi-closed primary system, which means voters who are not registered to a party cannot vote unless they declare a party affiliation before or on election day. Other parties, such as Libertarian, 1.32%, and Green Party, 1.423%. had minimal turnout, while the conservative US Constitution and socialist parties had no participation from Korean voters. In our next chart, we compare the number of registered Korean American voters. The light bars are the registered Korean American voters, with the number who actually voted, the dark bars, by age group. Beginning with the age group 50s, they have the highest number of registered voters. 7,075 registered Korean Americans. If we look at the age group 60s to 70, from the 60s, 924 who has voted, making them the highest participated group, and 881 Koreans in the 70s, age group being the second participated group. As we continue to look at the charts, ages 20s to 30s, 5,414 to 6,316 registered to vote, but only 306 to 380 who voted. Even the teen voters, ages 18 to 19, 403 teens registered to vote, but 28 teens has only voted. This visualization highlights generational differences in voter engagement, from middle age to seniors having a notably strong participation. In our next chart, Korean American voter turnout by region. The left side presents the data by county, and the right side breaks it down by municipality, or a city or town that has corporate status and local government. The first column shows the number of registered voters. The second shows actual voters. And the third displays the turnout rate. For instance, Bergen County had the largest number of registered voters, 22,135. But from it, only 2,456 who has voted, resulting in an 11.10 turnout rate. In contrast, smaller counties like Cape May, 14%, and Hunterdon, 81%, had the highest turnout percentages. On the right, you can see turnout in key municipalities, such as Palisade Park, Fort Lee, Leonia, and Cliffside Park. Cherry Hill Township had the highest turnout at 16.64%, followed by Palisades Park, 15.43%, and Cliffside Park, 13.51%. Meanwhile, Crest Hill, 6.47%, and Inglewood City, 6.86%, had relatively low turnout. This chart helps us identify where voter engagement is strong and where voting engagement was weak. And if we, KACE, can change the target voter turnout rate, the expected voter turnout target value will be revised, allowing us Korean Americans from being the minority to majority in the United States election. This dashboard provides a visual overview of Korean American voter registration and turnout by region. It highlights how Korean voters engage in different counties and municipalities, especially in areas with high concentration of Koreans resident in New Jersey. The map in the top left shows overall turnout and distribution by county, and the table in the top area compares turnout by county and municipality. The donut chart in the center shows voter participation by gender. The bottom left displays turnout by political party. The middle bar chart compares registered versus actual voters by age group. And the bottom right shows turnout rate by age. This dashboard clearly reflects the voting patterns of Korean American communities by region, particularly places in Bergen County, Palisades Park, Fort Lee, Leonia, and Cliffside Park. We'll now go over the specific number in each chart. This chart shows Korean American voter participation in Bergen County, which has the largest Korean population in New Jersey. The map on the left highlights Bergen County's location and overall Korean voters distribution. At the top right, we see a total turnout rate of 11.11%, with 2,463 voters participating. The donut chart at the bottom breaks down the voters by gender. 812 female, 810 male, and 841 all gender identities. While Bergen County has the highest number of registered Korean voters, its turnout is close to or slightly below the average. This chart shows the voter turnout rate among Korean American by political parties, but as you can see, the Democratic Party voters had the highest turnout at 21.36%, followed by Republican voters at 15.26%, following the specific county and municipality. In our next chart, this compares the number of registered Korean voters and those who actually voted, broken down by age group within the county and municipality. Voters in their 50s and 60s both had the highest numbers of registrant and voters. For example, 4,197 people in their 50s registered with 406 voting. In contrast, voters in their 20s and 30s had decent registration numbers, but low turnout. For instance, only 139 out of 2,949 in their 20s and 181 out of 3,427 in their 30s voted. While voters in their 80s and 90s had smaller registration pools, they show higher engagement, and those in their teens had minimal registration and turnout. This chart presents the voter registration actual turnout and turnout rate of Korean American voters across counties and municipalities in New Jersey. On the left, we see county level data. For instance, Bergen County has 22,135 registered Korean voters, with 2,456 participating, resulting in a turnout rate of 11.10%. While the registration number is high, the turnout rate is relatively modest. On the right, municipality level data shows more granular participation. For example, Palisades Park recorded a 15.43% turnout with 3,337 registrants and 515 voters. Other actively participating areas include Cliffside Park, 13.51%, Fort Lee, 12.9%, and Tenafly, 11.81%. On the lower end, Inglewood City, 6.86%, Crestkill, 6.47%, and River Edge, 6.64%, had lower engagement rates. Through this analysis, we are able to identify where Korean American voters are most concentrated and which age groups and regions are more actively participating and elections. This concludes our data presentation. Thank you.
Okay, we're now going to move on to the data of our voter eligibility, the registration and turnout in the state as a whole, as well as Bergen and District 37 counties, as well as the Korean voters within them. So we're going to be taking a look first at total voters in the state of New Jersey, which include those who fit the criteria of being U.S. citizens, residents of New Jersey, and are at least 18 by election day, and live in the precinct where they vote for at least 30 days prior to the election. Of those who are eligible, around 89% registered in 2023, while 91% registered in 2024. But the actual voter turnout, although is only 10% in 2023 and 16% in 2024 out of the registered voters. This difference in voter turnout in 2023 compared to 2024 might be explained by 2023 being a statewide election compared to 2024 being a nationwide presidential election. Just looking at specifically the Korean community in the whole of New Jersey, eligibility to vote remained the same in both 2023 and 2024, as you can see, 74,710. But with an approximate 2% increase in registration in 2024, with a voter turnout rate of 6% and 11%. And Koreans make up a large part of New Jersey, yet actual registered voters make up only about half of those who are eligible. Okay, we're going to be looking now specifically in Bergen County due to the high concentration of Koreans within this area, as well as due to the presence of a Korean commissioner in this county. Although there was a slightly lower number of registered voters in 2024, there was almost double the amount of turnouts in 2024. Similarly to the entire Bergen County data, Korean voter turnout in 2024 was double that in 2023, with a turnout rate in 2024 of more than that of 2023. In Bergen County, it seems that both the entire county population and Korean population have doubled in turnout rates in the recent year. We chose to focus on District 37 not only because of the, similarly again, the high concentration of Koreans, but there's also a presence of Korean assembly members and assembly candidates. Although Bergen County had a much higher registration and turnout than that of District 37 turnout rates were similar, only different by a few percentages. Bergen County also had a higher voter turnout than that of District 37 in year 2024. Finally, the Korean voters in District 37, the turnout rate was actually similar to that of Korean voters in Bergen County, but in the recent year of 2024. District 37 also had a 1% increase than that of Bergen County, despite having approximately half of the number of registrants. Through this analysis, we were able to identify where Korean American voters are most concentrated and which age groups and regions are more actively participating in elections. And this concludes our data presentation. Thank you.
딱 서머라이즈해서 말씀드리면 전체 뉴저지주 유권자 등록은 90%에 달하고 한인들은 50% 정도에 달한다는 겁니다. 그래서 우리가 아직 갈 길이 멀고, 또 하나는 엘리지블 보트는 뭐냐면 전체 그 당시 만 18세 이상 투표할 수 있는 인구를 다 이제 내놓습니다. 그러니까 이거는 시민권자다, 영주권자다, 이거 없이 미국에서 정상적으로 하는 것도 다 만 18세 이상 투표 가능한 인구지, 거기에 유권자 등록을 했다, 안 했다, 그래서 시민권이다 이런 거 빼고 이제 했을 때 우리가 턱없이 낮다는 겁니다. 그리고 또 하나는 전체 투표율보다 늘 5% 정도 낮다는 것이 이제 문제입니다. 특히 대통령 선거에서도 한인들이 많이 투표할 걸로 생각을 했었는데 여전히 머저리티가 하는 것보다는 5% 정도가 낮다는 거예요. 이 부분들을 우리가 극복을 해야 되고, 또 전체적으로 그 유권자 등록 H별로 보면 제일 유권자가 많아야 될 숫자가 사실은 20대와 30대인데 오히려 70대와 80대가 훨씬 더 유권자분들을 많이 하고 있는 것입니다. 그래서 우리가 타겟을 해야 될 것은 어떻게든지 20대와 30대의 유권자 등록률을 높이는 것이 대단히 중요하다는 말씀을 드리고 싶습니다. 특히 30대, 20대와 30대, 특히 50대, 40대, 50대까지 인구가 훨씬 많고 설사 유권자 등록을 더 많이 했다 하더라도 투표 참여율은 70대와 80대가 제일 높거든요. 그만큼 우리 한인 커뮤니티에 젊은 층들, 그러니까 60대부터 그 밑에 세대들이 오히려 70대, 80대보다도 훨씬 더 정치에 관심이 떨어지고 있다. 이 부분들에 대해서 우리가 주목을 해야 될 것 같습니다. 그래서 저희들이 유권자 등록 캠페인을 주요 타겟을 해야 될 것은 고등학교를 졸업하고 대학 가는 학생들과 아직 직장에 들어가지 않았거나 직장을 잡으려고 하는 30대, 20대, 30대의 유권자 등록하는 것을 주 타겟으로 잡아야 되고 또 투표 참여율은 60대, 50대, 40대 이 에이지 그룹들에 대해서도 우리가 집중적으로 투표 참여 캠페인을 해야 되지 않겠는가. 오히려 투표율이 제일 높은 것은 70대와 80대이기 때문에 이 숫자만큼 따라가야 되지 않겠나 이런 생각입니다. 결론적으로 우리가 왜 미국 사회의 소수계인가? 그것은 우리가 참여를 하지 않기 때문입니다. 유권자 등록률이 전체보다 40%나 떨어지고 투표 참여율이 전체보다 5%가 떨어진다는 것에 주목을 하고 우리가 만약 뉴저지주 전체 일반 유권자 등록률인 90%를 넘기고 또 투표 참여율도 똑같이 간다 그러면 이 뉴저지에서 더 이상 마이너리티가 아니겠죠. 지금 이렇게 유권자 등록률이 낮고 투표 참여율이 낮음에도 불구하고 사실 여러 정치인들이 나왔는데 만약 그랬다면 우리가 뉴저지주에 더 많은 연방 의원과 그다음에 더 많은 주 의원들 그리고 카운티 커미셔너까지 할 수 있지 않을까 그런 생각입니다. 어쨌든 투표율이 예비선거이지만 5%밖에 안 한다는 것은 우리가 심각하게 우리 자신을 되돌아봐야 되지 않겠는가 그런 생각입니다.